Today, we're going to talk about something called application modernization. I know, it sounds a little technical, but stick with me because it affects pretty much every piece of tech we use. And the best way to get our heads around it? Well, just think of it like renovating a house. All right, let's just jump right in. Have you ever been on, say, your bank's website, or maybe some old software you have to use for work, and it just feels ancient? You know what I mean. It's clunky, it's painfully slow, and it feels like it's from a different era compared to the slick apps on your phone. So what is going on there? Well, the simple answer is that they're running on what's known as legacy systems. And that term right there, that's the key. A legacy system is basically the digital version of a house that's still got shag carpeting and avocado green appliances. It just hasn't been updated in decades.
So yeah, let's get into it. What's the big deal with these digital old-timers? Why are they such a problem?
Okay, so what is a legacy application exactly? Here's the thing. On the surface, it still works. It gets the job done. But underneath all that, it's built with technology that is just totally outdated. So back to our house analogy. It's like a house with old, corroded plumbing and that old knob and tube wiring. Yeah, the lights turn on, but you're constantly on edge just waiting for something to go wrong. And you know that when it does, fixing it is going to be an absolute nightmare.
And yeah, those old pipes and wires, they cause some real problems. These are basically the cracks in the foundation. For one, the app is just slow, right? It makes doing simple stuff super frustrating. Then trying to update it or add new features, forget about it. It's nearly impossible. Plus, and this is a big one, they're often riddled with security holes. And the cost to just keep the lights on, it's astronomical. So what's the bottom line? It holds the whole business back. Big time.
But, okay, it's not all doom and gloom. There is a solution. And this is where it gets interesting. We're talking about the digital renovation. Let's look at the game plan for how to upgrade and rebuild these old digital houses.
Now, here's a really important point. The solution isn't always to just tear down the old house, right? If it has good bones, you work with it. And it's the same with these apps. You don't always have to scrap everything and start from zero. The real goal here is to renovate it, to bring it into the modern world. And that whole process, that's what we call application modernization. It is all about taking that underlying tech infrastructure and redefining it so it actually meets today's needs. It's about making a smooth jump to new, advanced technologies without, having to bring in the wrecking ball. So how do you actually do this? How do you renovate a piece of software? Well, as it turns out, there isn't just one way to go about it. Let's dive into some of the different options you have on the table.
And just like renovating a house, right? It's not a one-size-fits-all deal. It's really a spectrum of options. You could be talking about just a quick facelift, a new coat of paint. Or you could be talking about a full-on, tear-it-down-to-the-studs kind of rebuild.
Okay, so we can basically group these into three main levels of digital renovation. First up, you've got the facelift. This could mean just cleaning up the code behind the scenes, that's called refactoring, or maybe just slapping a shiny new interface on top of the old system. Then you've got step two, the major remodel. This is where you might move the entire app to a totally new, modern platform, like moving it to the cloud. And then there's the big one, step three, the full rebuild. This is exactly what it sounds like, starting from scratch and recreating the whole thing to build in all those advanced features from day one.
No matter which of those paths you pick, you absolutely need a plan. So let's talk about the modernization blueprint. This is like the architect's detailed plan for making sure the whole thing is a success.
You know that old saying, measure twice, cut once? Well, it could not be more true in the digital world. I mean, jumping into one of these projects without a rock-solid strategy, that is just a recipe for disaster. You have got to plan this out carefully.
So here's a proven four-point process that really works. First, you have to analyze and prioritize. You figure out which applications are the most valuable to the business and focus on those. Second, you start small. You don't try to renovate the entire house in one go, right? You start with one room, get a win, and build some momentum. Third, and this one is huge, you shift to something called microservices, which we'll get to in just a second. And finally, number four, you automate everything. You use code to manage your infrastructure so the new system is agile, tough, and secure right from the start.
All right, so I mentioned microservices. What the heck are they? Let's go back to our house analogy. Imagine your old clunky app is one giant monolithic mansion. It's all one huge building. If a single pipe bursts in the kitchen, guess what? The whole mansion floods. It's a disaster. Microservices, on the other hand, break that giant mansion down into a village of smaller, independent little cottages.
So now you've got a kitchen cottage, a bedroom cottage, a living room cottage, and if you need to update the kitchen, you can just work on that one cottage without disturbing any of the others. See? It's so much more flexible and way more resilient.
Okay, so we've talked about what this is and how you do it. But now for maybe the most important question of all. Why? Why does any of this matter? Let's get into the real payoff of having a modern digital home.
Honestly, the benefits are just huge. A modern app is way more agile. It's more resilient, which really just means it's not going to crash all the time. Companies can respond so much faster to what their customers actually need. The performance is better, the security is way tighter, and, here's the kicker, in the long run, it saves an incredible amount of time and money.
So what does all this mean for you and me, for us, the actual users? Well, it means our banking app doesn't crash right in the middle of a transfer. It means our favorite shopping sites don't grind to a halt during a big sale. It just means the services we rely on every single day actually work better and are way more reliable.
And this quote really just says it all. Don't let legacy systems block your business growth. Because in today's world, running on that old tech isn't just annoying. It's a genuine roadblock that can stop a business from growing and succeeding. So I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. Think about it. From the software you have to put up with at work to maybe the smart devices in your own home, what piece of technology in your life is feeling a little creaky, a little outdated, and is totally ready for its own digital renovation?